Welcome to Rosanitza and Siberian Love Catteries. One of the questions I get asked most often is, what should I feed my Siberian? And nowadays there are so many options, it can be quite overwhelming. So let me walk you through what I look for when I'm deciding on a diet for my Siberian. And then at the end of the video, I will tell you exactly what we are currently feeding so you can get ready if you are getting a kitten from us. I have with me today here Wilhelm. He is my gorgeous black silver retired boy now, so no more babies for him. But he is a very loving boy, and he's actually trained to do some tricks. So he's very bright. You lay down and then stay there for the rest of the video. We'll see. Anyway, that's a good boy. So first, I want to make a disclaimer that I am not a cat nutritionist. I am not a veterinarian. So what I am sharing here is solely based on my own experience and research. And so make your own research before making your own decision. So first diet we will discuss is dry kibble. It is the most popular way of feeding cats. And let's face it, it is the easiest and most convenient one. But not all kibbles are created equal, and there is debate that some can in fact be toxic in the long run. So first, if you glance through a cat food aisle at a pet store, you might notice a major description that comes back again and again: grain-free. And usually the grain-free bags will be more expensive than their non-grain-free friends, and one would naturally be inclined to think they are healthier. But virtually all the grain-free cat food, and dog food for that matter, contains pea, usually in the form of pea protein, and that can be problematic. Now, if they were using just a little bit of whole peas as a source of vegetable fiber, that might not be too bad, but the truth is that they use a fair amount of it as a cheap substitute to meat protein. In dogs, studies have shown that a diet with pulse like peas or lentils increases risk of heart disease. And there is a high suspicion that it does the same thing in cats, or maybe even worse. But studies in cats are much more rare than studies in dogs for some incomprehensible reason. But what we do know is that dogs are carnivore and even omnivore to some extent. Cats are not just carnivore, they are obligate carnivore. We could say dogs should eat meat, but cats must eat meat. And so it makes a lot of sense that having meat protein be replaced by a plant-based protein is bad for them, period. So what I look for in a dry kibble is 1, real meat as the first ingredient. 2, there should not be any pea or pea protein in there. I would rather not see any grain in there either. I mean, definitely avoid those cheap corn-based diet. That's the worst. But I feel like a little bit of rice is okay. Third thing I look for, I like to see some probiotics in there. Those good gut bacteria that helps keep an optimal digestion. And 4, I am not a fan of anything with fish. Mostly because the quality of the fish used in cat food is the worst. If you see salmon in there, it's most certainly farm salmon, which has high level of antibiotics, which can be detrimental to cats. If you see tuna, it's a fish that's really high in mercury most of the time. So I really don't trust any fish-based kibble for my cats. Finally, the 5th thing I look for is pumpkin. Pumpkin is the exception here. It is a plant, but in dogs, it has been proven to decrease chance of cancer and improve overall digestion. Of course, they haven't made a study in cats yet, but I found pumpkin puree to be an excellent digestive aid. It helps to regulate bowel movement. So if you can find a food that has a little bit of pumpkin, I think that's great. It should definitely be one of the last ingredients because you don't need a whole lot of it. At the end of this video, I will tell you everything we are currently feeding. So if you are getting a kitten from us, make sure to watch until the end. Do you want to come back, Wilhelm? Come. Sit. Good boy. Shake. Fly. Lay down. No, that does not qualify for laying down. Up, up. There we go. Turn around. Can you lay down? Oh, lay down. Good job. The second most popular way of feeding cats, and one that is recommended by many veterinarians, is canned food. The main reason that canned cat food is generally recognized as healthier is because of the higher moisture content. Cats can be finicky about their water intake, so this is an easy way to keep them hydrated, which should result in healthier kidneys in the long run. Personally, I haven't seen a big issue with this, and it might be that Siberians are naturally attracted to water and may naturally drink more. I don't know, and there's so little studies done about cats in general. Don't expect to see anything that's cat breed specific anytime soon. So this is just a thought that I have, something I've noticed. There's no denying that hydration is good, but I have noticed that some cats don't do well on just canned food. They tend to have softer, smellier poop. So here I do a combination of diets. Now, ingredients in canned cat food are pretty much the same as in the dry kibble. Again, you will see a lot of them with pea protein or different kind of fish, so try to avoid those. The best is to find one with just real meat and those balancing vitamins and minerals. Maybe a little bit of pumpkin or sweet potatoes again, but that's it. The third diet I want to discuss is the most complicated one, but arguably the best one. Feeding raw meat the same way wild cats get their nutrition in the wild. In theory, I don't think anybody can argue against the fact that raw meat is the best food for cats. But in practicality, there's a lot of controversy. Many vets are totally against raw feeding, while others are the greatest advocate for this diet. The truth is that raw feeding needs time and dedication to be safe and successful. There are pre-made frozen diets you can buy, which makes it easier, but the quality of these vary widely, and because I don't use those, I don't have much to say about these. You do need to be extra careful with the handling and preparation of the meal and discarding of the leftovers. I know it works great for some people and their cats, and I know some people who think their cats got sick from such a pre-made diet. I will feed some raw meat-based meals here, but the fact that I live on a ranch where we raise our own livestock means I have access to the best quality of meat there is, beef and lamb that we raised ourselves and had butchered locally. So if you can secure a half or quarter beef from a local farmer, that's amazing. If you have to buy from the store, that is also fine. But the rule here is to never buy ground meat. Meat that is ground commercially is not safe to be fed raw to cats. You want to buy a whole cut, and you can have the store butcher grind it for you, or you can simply cut it in small chunks at home. And then I will use a pre-made supplement that balances that meat with the right amount of minerals and vitamins. I will give you my recipe and recommendations at the end of this video, but if you are serious about feeding mostly raw meat, I highly recommend you check out this website, thelittlecarnivore.com. It's an amazing resource, and you will find everything you need to know about safely going on a raw meat diet for your cat. The last diet I want to go over with you is one that is relatively new, frozen dried raw meat based diet. I feel this to be a very promising diet. Frozen dried food retain most of its nutrient because unlike kibble, it is never cooked. But just like kibbles, it is super convenient. It can be fed dry or mixed with some water. Unfortunately, the price tag is kind of high, but what is nice is that you know that 100% of what you pay for is actually something that your cat system can use. Now, one question that many people have is, can you mix all of these diets together? I will link some great articles in the description if you want to go more in depth about this, but the short answer is yes, absolutely. Diversity is good and important. However, you should be consistent. Don't feed only raw meat one day and kibble the next and canned food the following one. You want to have a base diet, like 85 to 95% of the diet stays pretty much the same on a daily basis, but then you can complement and have some fun with different food for the remaining 5 to 15%. So at last, what do we feed here? look at this tail. Almost good. Maybe like this. After a lot of research, I finally found a kibble that met my high expectations in its Instinct Ultimate Protein. So this is the base diet of all of our adult Siberians. Unfortunately, it is not formulated for kittens. So the kibble we use for kittens and nursing mamas is Diamond Natural Active Cat. It is an all life stages food, but we recommend switching to Instinct Ultimate Protein when kitten is 10 to 12 months of age. So our cats have dry kibbles available all the time, and this is their base diet. Then on most days, our Siberian get a meal of either canned food or raw meat. The canned cat food we are currently feeding are Solistic, chicken and pumpkin dinner, and chicken and pumpkin formula in gravy for kittens, and Instinct kitten food. This last one has a lot of ingredient, and it has a little bit of salmon and tuna and peas, but the main ingredient is chicken. So for diversity's sake, I feel it is a good option for occasional feeding. We will probably be trying some more new canned cat food soon, so I will try to update this video as we get new favorites. And if you're wondering, this is why I'm putting this at the end of the video, so I can change it as needed. Wilhelm, we don't see you anymore. Where are you? For our raw meat meals, we use either No Better that you can buy from Amazon or TC Feline Raw Premix supplement from the Total Cat Store. I simply follow the recipe on the package. Some require you to mix raw liver with the meat, or some supplements already have frozen dried liver in it, so choose what will work best for you. On all of my canned food and raw meat meals, I like to add some Fortiflora probiotics. I have found this probiotic supplement to be very high quality, and it really helps my cats maintain a healthy digestion, even in time of stress, such as rehoming. So I would suggest you get some of that as well. For frozen dried raw diet, we love Instinct Raw Meal for kittens, and Stella and Chewy freeze-dried raw cat food. Stella and Chewy have lots of different flavors, which is amazing. Like I mentioned earlier, I tend to avoid fish base, but Stella and Chewy actually have a fish-based frozen dried meal that they say is actually wild caught, so we will probably give that new flavor a try soon. I actually don't usually use frozen dried meals as meals, but instead I use them as treats. So all our kittens usually get a few of those tasty morsels on a daily basis once they are old enough for solid food. For treats, we also use those irresistible, lickable, squeezable puree in tubes. I honestly don't know why cats love them so much, but they sure do. I've tried many different brands and the cats love them all, but the ones I buy most often these days are from the Wholehearted brand from Petco, but I also have some churro brand. Again, here I try to avoid fish-based ones, but since they are used in small amounts as treats, I will sometimes make exceptions. So I will have links to all of these in the description. If you are getting a kitten from us, you will be getting enough food for about a week for your kitten. Long term, you may decide to feed something different than what we suggest here. Unlike other breeders, we do not require you to keep feeding what we are feeding. But of course, make it a slow transition and make sure to watch this whole video so you know what to look for and what to avoid in your cat's diet. I think that sums it up for today. What do you think, Wilhelm? So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.